ready for Tuesdays with Tiffany Lewis. Tune in at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to Be the Change, only on Clear Source Radio, where we inspire people soul to soul. Only on Clear Source Radio.
Hi everyone, welcome to Be the Change. This is Tiffany Lewis. I hope everyone's having a great day. I have a very special guest for us this evening, and we're going to talk to you about some amazing topics. Our caller this evening's name is Amanda. Hi Amanda.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. So, I hear you have a positive message for the world. How would you describe what you want to say?
Just realizing that all the things that I've been going through with being a mother, suffering from PPD and anxiety most recently. Okay. I'm just not the only one that's going through that and having crazy thoughts and just feeling so alone, even though I have friends and a husband and family support. It's a very lonely feeling.
And you're a stay-at-home mom, so it's even more lonely, and you're feeling probably closed in.
Yes.
Are you working right now?
I'm completely lost as an individual being a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
So I'm trying to guide myself back on track to find myself again.
Okay. How long have you been a stay-at-home mom?
4 years.
Oh my gosh. That's enough to drive anyone crazy. Been there and done that. Wow. So tell us what you want us to know about your situation, and then let's see if we can help other people in the same situation find themselves too.
The biggest thing I would say is to just not keep it in. Mm-hmm. And because sitting in your thoughts, your mind can play tricks on you, make you feel worse, and running down every which scenario in your mind, it does not help at all.
Oh, I know. Oh, and for those of you that don't know, she's talking about postpartum depression, which can last years. I don't know how much research anybody's done, but this stuff can last years, especially if you have kids back to back or you're a stay-at-home mom. That could last the entire 4 years. Seriously.
Yes.
Yeah,
because I still get strands from it currently with things, and I mean, it's slowly... I feel like I'm dealing with it better, but it comes out of nowhere sometimes where I'm just like, whoa, there it is again.
It's strange, isn't it? And it causes, what are some of the symptoms it causes in you?
Anxiety is a big one. Feeling like a failure as a mom, because I feel like no matter what I do, it's never enough. I feel like I'm not doing enough for my son.
Wow.
Yeah, he has never been in daycare, obviously, since I've been at home with him this whole time. So I always feel like, am I teaching him enough? Does he know enough? Is he where he's supposed to be? And then my mind just goes on and on and on because I'm talking to myself about it and not getting, advice or somebody else's perspective that may be in the same position.
It's normal to talk to yourself. It's normal to feel like you're going crazy. All of that makes you a normal, absolutely perfect mom. If you didn't act that way, then you probably wouldn't be normal. But I'm here to tell you that is completely normal. But so for 4 years, is there anyone significant in your life? We don't have to use names or anything, but anyone that helps you make feel a certain way? Why do you feel like you're not doing enough for your child or not good enough?
My husband, we're two very different people. He owns his own company, so he's constantly working. He gives himself 1 day off a week.
Wow.
So with our opposites of I guess, contributing as a team. I feel like I'm lacking because I'm not financially helping. And then I feel like he's lacking because he doesn't do home stuff, so it's kind of like a back and forth thing between the both of us. I mean, we both contribute, but I guess we just don't see the other person's point of view.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I found that husbands that would like their wives to stay at home and raise a child, they feel like that's your job, but then they feel like that's your job. Right. If that makes any sense at all. They really enjoy the situation where the mother can stay home with the child, but then after a few years, you get used to the situation. You have to ask the person for money. You're asking for permission.
Exactly.
The person's working a lot. They begin actually working more. I don't know if that's happened with you, but it's pretty atypical of a situation, especially if a child was planned. I don't know why.
Right.
I just know that it works out that way. What do you think?
I completely agree with that. And another thing is just falling into comfort, I guess, because our son was planned, and I guess, like the other day, a perfect example, the other day my husband was like, so are you going to do laundry today because I'm out of work clothes? And I'm like, you're totally capable of washing your own clothes. I love how that's just automatically under my job.
It's your job. Your job is like literally everything except his job.
Right.
Oh, it's funny, but it's sad that it's true. And you're right about the comfort level. You get comfortable. You feel like your mind plays tricks on you, and you feel like you're the only person that can protect that child. You would never let anyone else watch your child.
Right.
You're the only safe person for it, right? And it's like you create this atmosphere where you're like a tiger, like a lioness. You're so protective and overprotective of that child. Because you're so used to it, and your mind has played tricks on you for so long that you're just confused at the end of the day, and you really have lost your own identity.
Yeah. That was a big thing with the PPD. After I had my son, I put us in a bubble for so long. I was like, my son has never had a babysitter, first of all. And I was like, okay, I have to go to the grocery store, but I'm scared we're going to die if I go to the grocery store. It sounds crazy, but it's the grocery store is 5 minutes from my house, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like we could get into a car accident, or we could pick up some weird germ and both get sick, and then that was like the mind game that my brain was doing to me, that I stayed home. I didn't want people coming to my house visiting. I didn't want,
because you don't want to get their germs on your child. Like, I know
so
it sounds irrational, but it's completely irrational. Okay, so not many people come over, never had a babysitter, you would never take your child to daycare because there's a lot of other children there and they share things and germs, and it completely makes sense, as a mother.
That was tough, me getting over that hump to where I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Target today. I don't need anything, but I need to get out of the house for my sanity.
So, do you tell us about your relationship and how that affects? Do you guys take shifts is it your job 24/7 to raise this child, or are you sharing that responsibility, or is his job and your job is like literally 24/7 being that child's mom, nothing else?
Yeah, I'm 24/7 on shift.
Jeez. Does he help at all?
I don't want to say no, but it's once in a blue moon gets offered. I so appreciate when he's like, oh, come take a shower with me. He'll bathe my son. And it's the smallest thing, but my gosh.
I know.
It's like, thank you. Like that.
Just to go to the bathroom by yourself. Believe me, I know.
Yeah, it's so, just that 10 minutes to just sit and do nothing.
I know.
I appreciate so much. But, you know, like all the house stuff is me. I take the trash out, laundry, dishes, cook, all that stuff clean.
Jeez.
And then with my son, it was really bad because about a year ago, he was having night terrors.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like during the day, you know, I was dealt with my son, and then it was a night thing where he was waking up, you know, every couple hours for 40 minutes screaming.
Wow.
So then my lack of sleep, like when he was a newborn, started coming back. And then it's just such a vicious cycle of things that, I mean, no wonder I'm losing my mind.
It's okay. But, you know, we've got to get to the point where we formulate a plan to give you some time alone. I know it sounds horrible. I know you don't want to leave your child alone, even with a family member. And that's because you have been, you know, mother lioness for so long at this point, and you're so protective. And as you said, you built a bubble around you too. You're inseparable. But with that is going to come separation anxiety when your child turns 5 and you have to take him to kindergarten, because that's the law, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so separation anxiety is going to happen, and you're going to lose your mind on a whole other level. You're going to be like, no, he's sick, I can't take him to school today. Like, just another level of craziness happens. And the child feels a separation anxiety too. So we've got several months until the next school year happens, with September, August, whenever it starts. When does his school begin?
He starts his VPK in the beginning of August.
Okay, so you've got literally a couple of weeks to teach separation in a really controlled environment, because there's going to be separation anxiety. You're going to drop that child off, and it is going to scream, and you are going to cry all day long, and you're going to make 100 excuses why to go pick him up. And it stays that way for quite some time. It takes a long time to get used to that. But maybe if you started implementing pretend go to school, right? You draw a picture with a little, I know he's not going to ride a school bus, but let's just pretend you were to get on the school bus that you draw, right? Or even make little Velcro things. I know you're creative if you're a stay-at-home mom. So you draw the school. You draw mom, child, car, school. Okay, well, what happens when we get here? We arrive at the school. You give mommy a kiss. I walk you inside. You have breakfast or whatever's happening at the school. I walk you to your classroom, and you're going to be a big, strong boy. Here's your backpack. Oh, you look so cute. You're going to take a lot of pictures, and you're going to say, I will be back very soon to pick you up. I hope you have a good day in school. Now you have to teach that to him. Seriously. I know it's hard, but it's going to be harder if you don't.
Yeah.
If you just like put the shock on a child one day that they have abandonment issues.
Yeah.
And not enough people like understand that at all. If you just went from being a stay-at-home mom to the only person that child really knows and trusts, and then you just drop them off with strangers, it's not going to go well.
Yeah. That's not a good day for anybody.
No. And the first day of school is always the worst. It's one of the worst days of your life. There's kindergarten graduation, there's first day of school, there's prom, there's milestones. That is absolutely one of the worst ones. I mean, you're going to hate yourself for 2 weeks just for following the law and taking your child to school.
It's crazy because, you know, I don't have family in the state that I live in. So when my parents do come down to visit, which is once, maybe twice a year, you know, they'll let me and my husband go on a date night, which is nice. And he's always like, okay, bye, you know, which is shocking to me. But I'm like, dang, he must need a break from me too. Like, he does not even care.
Yeah.
So I know he's ready to get his independence. I mean, I know he's only 3, but he's ready.
That's a good thing, though. Yeah. I mean, maybe it won't be so bad on the first day of school. Every child's different. Just And I'm also speaking from a personal experience as a single parent, in which you're not far from. Even though you're married, your husband really doesn't play a role in this. You're basically a single parent with a husband who works all the time, which is very normal, I guess. A lot of people live that way. And all the things that you're feeling, a lot of it has to do with that. And it's not just about gaining independence. It's like you lost yourself as a human being. Amanda went away the minute Amanda gave birth, right? Well, technically it started back when you got married, right? You give yourself to another person fully and completely. Your whole life becomes about... I've even heard it say in wedding vows, to serve the other person, and I'm so against weddings.
Yeah.
We're going to leave that one alone. All right. I'm going to try not to go off on that tangent, but all right. So we are put on this earth to serve a man, right? We marry him. We plan a child. We have his kid. He starts working more. And now you're a single parent, even though you're technically married. It's tough, but you lost yourself a long time ago. And then it changed its aspect when you became Amanda, the mother. Now your whole world revolves around that child. Not only is the husband jealous, he feels left out. Maybe he doesn't want anything to do with it. Maybe that's why he works so much. And I'm just assuming. I don't know that he works however much. I'm just assuming that may be his escape. And then you don't have any. So you're trapped.
Yeah.
And not having any family is isolating. I don't know whose idea it was for you to move away for your family. Was it yours or his?
No, my parents ditched me here.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, they went to go retire, and I stayed back. I was 18 years old. What did I know?
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you'll understand when your child's 18. I get it.
Yeah.
Deuces. Have fun at college. I don't blame them. I don't blame any parents for retiring. Having a grandbaby is stressful, but it's wonderful. It's wonderful because you can give it back.
Right.
You can hang out with your grandchild, and then you can return it to its parents.
Right. They always talk about moving back, and I'm like, please don't, because I know you guys like where you live. I mean, my dad was in the military, so we moved every 3 years, and I think they've lived here for where they're living for 14 years. So I'm like, don't move back for me or even my son, because you guys are happy. You can come whenever.
Yeah, they're traveling, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay. So, but they are in the picture. What about any other family members? Anyone else in the picture that's a part of this, has anything to say about this, or has ever helped you with your child, or are you literally the only person in that state?
My husband has family in the state, but they have families and stuff. There's kind of a distance there in the relationship, but that's fine. I mean, they are getting married, popping out babies, so they got their own stuff going on, but we're alone. I mean, I have a girlfriend that lives in the neighborhood, and we get our boys together, but it's like, I mean, there has been one occasion where I have had time with her, just me and her.
I don't miss those days. I'm sorry. You know me, you know I'm honest, you know I'm blunt. I do not miss those days. I can tell you one time, my child was probably 2 years old. A girlfriend of mine came over. We drank a glass of wine. I think I got really trashed off like a glass of wine because I hadn't had any alcohol in so long. And, I felt horrible about it for days. And the husband was obviously in the other room kind of listening and snooping in on the conversation. And it was really quite awkward. But that was the only time in her life that I had ever had a girlfriend over and had an adult conversation, even though she didn't have kids and she couldn't understand. It's a little bit different when you're adult to adult,
Right.
with children. But yeah, those are rare opportunities. And so tell us about I want to focus on a couple things. I want to focus on what is your plan to move forward, how you're going to help solve the issue of, or at least try to help prevent the issue of separation anxiety. Or maybe he'll just be like, bye mom, have a good day, see you after school. I mean, he sounds very independent. And also, how can we help other people going through this? Lots of people are stuck in situations that they just don't know how to get out of. Right? They have a child and you get stuck. You get comfortable and you don't want to leave what may or may not be an unhealthy relationship. Some people stay in marriages just for the children. Tell me about your bond with your husband. Are you guys still close?
Yes. It's hard to say. I mean, we are, but it's, he gets home so late, he leaves so early that we don't go on dates. He gets home from work, he's usually still working at home. So we don't have us time really. I fully support him in his hobbies that he does, but I mean, I have none for him to support me in. So it's like, it's hard. I mean, that's hard to say.
Really hard.
It sounds
that's really
terrible.
Selfish. No, that's like really
terrible,
selfish
but it's, I mean, we'll sit on the couch and watch Naked and Afraid. That's, what I
Sure. So you have a show in common.
We have a show together, and but that's like it. He's so exhausted. He does a manual labor job. So, I mean, I don't blame him for passing out. He leaves at like 4:00 in the morning and is moving heavy stuff all day. So I understand he's physically and mentally exhausted from his days, but I do wish that we had more us time.
Yeah, you need intimacy and an emotional relationship with your husband. I mean, just because you became so-and-so's mother doesn't mean that you're not a wife anymore, which is what this all started with. You guys fell in love, you met each other, you became his wife, a child is born, it changes everything. And now even you're viewed as this child's mother versus, my wife, the person that I married. And it's part of it. It's because, as I was joking with you earlier, it's because we wander around in our pajamas all day and don't wear makeup and don't care how we look, and we have like baby poop all over us. And I mean, we're always like cleaning. We're like Cinderella with a child on crack. You know? I mean, you have to keep going and going and going. You're so sleep deprived at this point. But give me just 1 second, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I bet that was really loud. This mic picks up everything. You can hear the chair scooting and everything. Sorry. I have to put my phone on the other side of the room because it keeps going off. But,
jeez.
Yeah, it usually does that when we're recording. All right, so tell me more.
Well, I think my issue right now is I'm falling really hard into the routine of every day, that it's stressing me out. But, I am definitely going back to work is my number one thing. Okay. Want to get, I quote retired nail tech because I stopped before I tried having my son. Sure. So I'm going to branch off into that a little bit more, but I'm just trying to pick some hobbies to do for myself that are kind of on my bucket list and just do things for me and not feel guilty about wanting something for myself.
Yeah, you definitely should not feel guilty. And you'll realize that once you have done the things on your bucket list and you're like, oh my gosh, and you look back and you're like, wow, I can't believe I let that cycle go on for that long, and how did I live like that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's wonderful to get to stay home and raise a child, especially by yourself, especially with support. The husband's helping financially. That's way better than being a single parent, but essentially you're basically a single parent, just, you know, with a husband who's financially taking care of the family, even though he's working a lot. And y'all don't get any me time. And, so what are some of your goals? What do you want to do? What's going to make you feel independent?
It's so crazy. And I do.
It's not crazy.
I get, you know, some harsh stuff about it. I don't know why I have always had an interest in boxing. But I want to learn more about that and do it. Like, I don't know if I just want to punch somebody in the face or, but I just, you know, I want to.
I do.
I feel like that is just something so interesting that I would love to learn how to, like, be in that situation.
Like professionally, you know, or as a hobby?
Just as a hobby.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to be all crazy, but just as a hobby, just something new I can learn that isn't just, you know, let me learn how to knit so now I can make the family clothes.
Oh, jeez. No. And it's physical. It's going to help you, you know, subconsciously. Your mind and body are telling you that you need to hit something. And I'm not encouraging that for anyone listening who's a minor. But I guess it's better to take a class and learn, you know, how to educate yourself, how to control yourself, restraint, boxing, kickboxing, any kind of karate, kung fu, whatever. They all are very disciplined. Just like how you grew up in a military home. It was a very structured, very disciplined environment. So there's some deep seed in you that needs that structure again in your life, that discipline, you know? And I think it's great. It's kind of scary. It scares me that you want to do boxing. Like,
you
that's
know,
where
it's
they
crazy.
hit each other in the face,
it really
right?
scares me too. But my anxiety will give me almost like that butterfly feeling in my stomach to where I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw up. Yeah. But I'm starting to like that feeling.
Yeah? What
because
do you think that feeling is?
I get that when I have to go to the gas station and pump gas.
Okay.
Because my anxiety, I'm like, please, nobody talk to me, nobody look at me, because
Girl, that's normal.
I personally get a lot of crazy looks just because I'm heavily tattooed.
Okay.
So people tend to think they can talk to me. And I don't have the nicest face. Like, I have that mean girl face where I'll be like, why are you talking to me? So I get anxiety with just the simplest things of going to get gas at a gas station. I hate going to the grocery store, but I'm trying to conquer that feeling and tell myself it's not a bad feeling. Like, you know, you're getting this talking about boxing, but it will make you overcome it. Like, I have so many fears that I want to beat that.
I understand. Facing your fears. Okay. I understand that. I hate that people just look at you, and I've never seen what you look like, but I wouldn't judge. I hate that people just walk up to you, look at you, judge you. But then there's also something to be said for the fact that they think that you're relatable and they can just walk up and talk to you. Like you're so super cool. I mean, you should take pride in whatever that label is.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you look like the type that's easy to talk to, that's probably been through a lot, that they can just talk to. I know, as weird as that sounds, you know how some animals are attracted to humans, like they can sense it. I think humans can sense it from other humans. So I think it's a vibe that you give off. Yeah, I think it's just a positive vibe that you give off, and people just feel comfortable just randomly talking to you. It's not a bad thing.
I think I just immediately put my guard up because it's usually a male.
Of course it is, girl. Of course. Of course. You know how I feel about that. So. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Nah, we're not going to go there about males. I thought about it, but I'm not. All right.
It's a whole other show.
Believe you me, it's like a 4-part series of a season that would go on for 2 years.
Well, let me know, because I...
Yeah, we can do that any day at all. I'm happy to talk about males. For all the males listening, sorry. Factual over here. All right, so what are some other goals?
For a while, I was thinking about doing like an aerial silks class, just because I kind of have a fear of heights a little bit, but just whenever I've seen anybody do that, it's just so like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. How the heck did they roll themselves up and drop and do all these tricks? So that kind of has been sticking out a little bit. And I figured I could use that with my height fear and kind of having control, but not really, because when you're dropping, you're dropping.
Totally. Okay, tell me will you explain what that is? Aerial silks?
Aerial silks, it's like, I went and looked at a place down where I lived, and it's like in a warehouse, and they have these silks hanging from the ceiling. I mean, they're probably 20 feet up.
I get it. Yeah.
And they'll climb up and wrap the silks around like their waist or their legs, and they'll just drop. They'll like unroll, but they have like tied a knot with it to stop them.
Wow.
Yeah. If nobody has ever seen that, just look it up, because they just look so natural, and you kind of can't figure out how they did it, but it's really awesome to watch.
It sounds like art. And I think I know, now that you've explained it, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the beautiful silks that hang down, and the female or the male gets in them. Sometimes they do duos or whatever, and they kind of hang upside down from one leg. And
and they do like yoga poses and stuff. And I'm just like, God, it's so calming to watch almost.
It's art. Yeah. It's like ballet or something like that. It's totally beautiful. I can't even, I never even consider taking a class like that. That's beautiful. And that's right up there with, I would say, trapeze, sort of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? There's this factor of letting yourself go and falling. And I bet you if we thought about it long enough, we'd figure out the reason why you want to fall.
Yeah, seriously.
But the falling is because they've tied this knot around their ankle or whatever, and they know that there's no risk of them actually dropping to the ground. And if there is, there's a mat underneath of it to catch them, right? Or something, or a trampoline or something.
Yeah, it's usually like a big padded, like gymnastics mat.
Okay, so it's totally safe. Regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, you know a place in your area where you can take those classes?
Mm-hmm. I went actually when my parents were down visiting, and I took my mom because she didn't really know what it was either. And I said, well, just come with me. And we went and watched. She was like, oh, sit down and watch. And then, if you want more information, I can give you when the classes are, prices and all that stuff. And I mean, everybody there was just so nice.
Absolutely.
Not that I wasn't expecting that, but I mean, to put myself in a completely different atmosphere than what I'm used to, I was kind of scared. But
well, there's something about
to scare myself.
No, you don't need to be afraid. There's something different about people who are so in tune with their body, with gravity, with falling, with posing like that. There's something so different about people who really understand and trust themselves that much. We're a whole different breed from your normal everyday person who just goes through life and goes through the motions. This is something where you're going to feel everything. This is emotional. This is beautiful. It's art. It's expressive, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Other goals.
Those are like my two hobby goals that I want to do. My other big one, which my family gives me some stuff about, I hate flying.
Okay.
And I am putting that on my list of things to do this year. Okay. I have a sister that lives in California, and my parents and brother live in Alabama, so it's like I want to be able to go see them instead of always having everybody come here.
Right.
And it's not that I don't like to travel. I've been using that excuse, and I can say that I've been lying this whole time. That I hate traveling. I don't want to travel. It's such a hassle. But it's just the getting there on a plane is what really freaks me out. And I don't know why. I have been raised on planes because of my dad. I mean, right. I was on planes all the time. Maybe that's why. I don't know, but
I think a lot of people have a fear of flying. Ryan Reynolds won't get on an airplane, still to this day. Fact.
Really?
Really. It would surprise you how many people actually are afraid of flying and will not get on an airplane. And I think the reason is, well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, you get on the plane, you're putting your life in something else's hands that seems so dangerous, where anything could go wrong. But if you look at the statistics, you're more likely to get murdered than you are to get in an airplane crash. Literally.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the statistics are mind-boggling. There are like 50 things that rank, things that could never happen to you. Even a freak accident is more likely to happen to you than an airplane crash.
Wow.
And a little secret about those, quote, oxygen masks, they actually have laughing gas in them, so that if your plane were to go through enough turbulence, and that's how they get people to stay so calm. It's not actually oxygen. It's oxygen and laughing gas.
Are you serious? I did not know that.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't have said that on the air, but yeah, it's true. Why do you think they're so calm afterwards? Think about it.
Come down. I'm going to be taking some long, deep breaths.
Seriously. It's the stuff the dentists use. If you've ever listened to an airplane crash in the black box, you'll hear them like screaming and freaking out. Then they're told to put their oxygen mask on, right? So it's obviously you're exerting all this anxiety and you're screaming and you're freaking out, and you put your oxygen mask on, and all of a sudden you're kind of okay. You're kind of, high off of that laughing gas. It's oxygen too, but it has that chemical in it. Yeah.
Wow.
True story. Yeah. So you have nothing to be afraid of. I mean, worst case scenario, you're in a 1 in a trillion opportunity where a plane will crash, and that's almost literally impossible. You could count how many plane crashes there have been in the world ever.
Yeah.
Versus accidents that happen within 1 mile of the home, versus murder, homicide, suicide. These are all numbers that I'm scared of. I'm worried about because, depression, anxiety. These are all real numbers that could actually happen to anyone at any time. But every airplane's going to, they're going to have turbulence. So go into that knowing that. There are a lot of people who take pills before they get on an airplane to help ease their anxiety. Don't forget, they give out liquor on an airplane, so a drink goes a long way. I mean, there's a reason that they serve those things, to calm people down.
Yeah.
And it's even scarier if you take your son, because your son is going to freak out because his ears are going to pop coming up and going down.
See, it's funny because 2 years ago we went to New York, and it was the first time my son was on a plane. I was freaking out, clearly. But I didn't drink anything, didn't take anything. But I just told myself, I'm like, okay, takeoff and landing, I'm going to give him some fruit snacks so that he's chewing on something, so his ears pop. And we left so early. I don't know if this is bad or not, but I gave him like a little dose of Tylenol just so that he will stay calm and go back to sleep. Absolutely.
That makes sense.
So
I know a lot of people that would judge that, but I'm not judging that. I think it's smart.
He did perfectly fine.
Okay.
I did have to get up and kind of walk with him because, I mean, he was 2 at the time who really wants to be strapped in and not move around.
I know.
And my husband fell asleep. And I also had my stepson with me, so I had 2 kids.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so, but it's okay because I drew on his face when he was sleeping. It was fine. I got my revenge.
Wow.
But I was surprised he did okay, and me thinking about taking trips this year, and bringing him, I feel like that would kind of make me step up a little more because I can't freak out because it will freak him out.
Yeah, and everyone else around you. People,
right.
I know this sounds horrible because I have kids. People, even me, hate when a kid screams on an airplane. You're like, hello, can I get moved? I mean, it's terrifying to hear because everybody's already taken that relaxation pill or had their drink or whatever's going on. And then you have this screaming child in the back. And if you've ever noticed, they always see a mother with a child either right in the front or right in the back.
Right.
You've never noticed. So, piece of advice: if you're going to do it, right in the very, very back. Okay. It's got the noises from the bathroom right there. You can actually hear the wings in the air, and learn how to use the window to look out and point out. Well, look, there's whatever state, whatever city, and now planes are interactive. They have this screen on the back of every seat, which would be in front of your face and in front of your child's. You just put headphones in, put a blanket on, and watch a movie.
Yeah.
Really. Takeoff and landing there's going to be turbulence. There's even going to be turbulence in the sky, no matter what. But it's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
You're not going to die. That's not even really a possibility. You have a better chance of getting murdered, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, I need to conquer that fear this year for sure.
You do. And I would even advise conquering if you want to do one trip with your son and do one trip without your son so that you can personally gain the confidence and the relaxation. And everybody gets nervous before they get on a plane. Everybody. Seriously.
Yeah.
Even those that travel every day for their job. So, conquer that. What else do you want to conquer?
I think those were the big ones. Just going back to work, finding some hobbies, and traveling. I think that's all I've come up with so far. I mean, that can always change, but those are the ones that are those are the ones that are going to happen.
Okay, so those are the ones that you want to happen in the next 12 months or literally in 2018?
2018.
Okay. So let's talk about a vision board.
Yes.
You're going to write 2018 on the top. You're going to put a picture of an airplane, a picture of whatever your next step at Move is, even if it's taking, as we spoke about yesterday, 1 client a week, or getting another certification while taking 1 client a week and doing their nails. And the boxing and the silks, I think, should be at different times because one's going to be very rigorous compared to the other.
Yeah, for sure.
And you wouldn't believe how much strength it takes to hold yourself up on those, to make all those body movements to look beautiful like the art that is. It takes a lot of body strength. So maybe boxing first.
Boxing first. That's what I was thinking the other day. I was like,
Yeah.
I think I would want to do the boxing first because I kind of have had that thought for a while.
Yeah. You have to be able to carry your own weight with one foot, one hand, one arm, and that's a learned experience. It's not something that you can just pick up. I mean, it might be funny if you wanted to like pick it up and then videotape it and watch it for your own purposes, but you know, versus having training on how to use your body weight, which I think you would get from boxing.
Yeah.
The discipline to be able to control your feet and your hands and your movements and your body weight and holding back and going forward. I think that would be a really good combo. So vision board, 2018, we've got silks, nails, or going back to work, airplane. What do you want? 2 trips? You want a trip with your son and without, or give us a better vision board?
See, I would say yes, one with my son and one without, but, you know, going to see my sister and her kids, I would want him to go, and then the other trip, I would want to see my parents.
Okay.
So...
And they would want to see him. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a third trip where you just go visit a friend, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it's not in 2018, you should definitely put that on your bucket list. Like if it's like really, really short. I can never stress that enough. I say it every day. We're not guaranteed anything. And you know that song by Tim McGraw, Live Like You Were Dying? I live my life like that every single day. Because, you know, as terrified as we are about things in the real world, like walking outside and getting hit by a car and dying, or an airplane crash, or things that are probably not going to happen, but could, fear changes us. It cripples us. So we're going to have to figure out a way to get you to not fear those things. Even if you don't conquer your fears by doing them. Like, for instance, I had a fear of snakes. So what did I do? I went and got 4 snakes, right?
No.
It was cool for a little while. Then they got to be like 8, 9, 10 feet long, and I didn't know what to do with them. And every time I stuck, using every precaution necessary, let me put this in there correctly. I knew not to stick my hand in there. I knew to wear gloves so that they didn't, you know, use my scent and put that together. And with the scent of that and the food that they ate, I'm trying not going to be graphic. They didn't associate my hand with that food. Right? Live food.
Wow.
And for a few years, I did. I had them for many, many years. And then one escaped from the tank.
No! Oh my gosh!
So I call 911 and I stand on top of my bed and say my snake has escaped. And they are strong, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
And I just sit there till the fire department shows up and finds the snakes and takes them all out of my house, and me and snakes never again. Am I over that fear? No. Not a chance. Did it help me? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm still terrified of snakes. You know?
Oh my gosh. I can't believe that happened. Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when we conquer our fears. It doesn't always work out that way. It's better to have a vision board and focus on the positive in our life and put it out there to the universe, what we want. Like we talked about earlier, you need to focus on this 24 hours a day. You need to meditate on this. You need to pray about this. You need to want these things on your vision board, which is going to be somewhere really obvious that you're looking at all day, every day, so that you stay focused on it. Okay?
Right.
You're feeding your son lunch. Take that 10 minutes to put it out there to the universe. Like, I really want this and I'm really ready for that. And I promise you it'll happen within a day to a couple of months.
Yeah.
Each one step by step, or in any order. It doesn't matter what order. But it will happen. It's the law of attraction. Have you ever done a vision board before?
I never have, no.
What have you heard? What do you think about it?
I've heard from a couple people, including yourself, just positive things about it. So I'm definitely open-minded, and I'm going to try that.
Okay.
Because just the reminder of seeing it every day would be good for me, because I'm a very visual person. So I don't know why I've never done that before.
Well, a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people have never even seen the movie, The Law of Attraction. They don't even know what I mean when I say that in the sense that I mean it. I mean the law of attraction. What you put out is what you get back. Some people would think that I was talking about, Newton's law of gravity, and I'm kind of in, but I'm not really. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it can be taken several ways. All right, so let's formulate a plan to help other people in your situation. Go for it.
Okay. The vision board's on there now because it's on mine, but just not to hold things in. As embarrassed as you may feel about thoughts or how you're feeling or just being lonely, you have to talk to somebody, because that was my biggest mistake that I didn't do for so long. And I mean, I've been at home, like I told you, for 4 years, and I'm just now voicing to my close girlfriend and to
Right.
you and to my husband. So I'm feeling better and taking steps in a better direction. But that was my biggest thing that I don't want anybody to do, because just sitting in your thoughts, your mind is going to play tricks on you, and then it can take you to very dark, scary places.
All right, so if you don't mind sharing, you've shared this with a friend, you've shared this with me, now you're sharing it with the world. Who would you call in a time of one of these, 24-hour days, 7 days a week, panic attacks that come out of nowhere, postpartum depression? What do you do when that happens? What helps you through that? Who do you call?
Who I have been calling, because now the answer's kind of changing, but I've been calling my girlfriend, because we're connected in so many weird ways that it's scary, but she's a little bit older than me. We both have boys that are the same age.
Yeah.
And she's just no judgment about anything. So I can tell her anything, and she will tell me, even if I don't want to hear it, she'll tell me what I need to hear.
That's a true friend.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the stars that she was supposed to be in my life. Like, I tell that to her all the time, because she is how I found you. So it's like,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So everybody needs to have somebody that will give it to them straight, is what you're saying. Whether
Yes.
you want to hear it or not. All right. For those that don't have any friends because they've been alienated, right? Husband doesn't let them have friends. We can say journalism. We can say vision board. We can call, suicide hotline. Are they helpful? Do you think they're helpful?
Yes.
Okay.
100% yes.
Okay. And it's real people. You don't have to talk to a robot or anything. There's real people there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That phone number, 1-800-273-TALK, right?
Yes.
Okay. And our nonprofit's actually partnered with them, with the Yellow Ribbon. That's who owns 1-800-273-TALK. So you're going to get an experience like this one. Just two people talking. Nobody's judging. We're just talking. And I hope that it helps some people. All right. What else? Did you find art or anything creative while you're still stuck in your house? What do we do?
I know. Still stuck in my house, but I've been motivating myself. Just, I've been having like a really great 2 days, after I was able to talk to you about some things. And
Correct.
I've just been motivating myself to just not sit on the couch and watch televisions, because that's another thing you don't want to do.
I get it.
Because you start getting like, why don't I have that? Or, craziness.
I know.
But just little things, like me and my son just went in the backyard. He played on his water table, and I laid out and listened to music, and it was like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, we weren't even out there for an hour, and it was just like,
yes,
this is nice.
It's
but
time.
I'm just trying to keep us busy, get my son going out, doing, we used to go to a gymnastics thing for him once a week. It was like a play thing. So
that'd be great.
Just trying to keep myself busy so I don't get stuck in my thoughts, because that was not a fun place.
I know.
For anybody.
And anybody who's feeling, stuck or depressed or dealing with anxiety, there's no way around getting caught up in your own thoughts. You have to have a plan to get out of those thoughts, but first you have to realize that you're stuck in those thoughts. I say staying busy is probably the best way. And this may sound silly, but there are these videos you can watch on YouTube that can just get you out of your mind, these deep chakra meditation videos where you can just, and be one with the world and be one with the universe and just get out of your mind, even if it sounds absurd. Or, hey, play
and
crazy
it's like
music
I
really
told
loud.
you, my sister is so hardcore into that. I make fun of her. We're sisters, of course. That's my job. I have to tease her. But I did start meditating, like I told you. I did do one of the videos you told me about yesterday, and
how'd that feel?
It's. I still can't wrap my mind around it, because I used to not believe that did anything, but I don't want to say it's like an out of body thing, because it's just, it's nice to be somewhere in your mind where it's not dark and it's just like,
yes. Well, I'm glad that you took my advice, and let's pass that advice forward to our listeners. So when you go on YouTube and you search for deep meditation, chakra, deep vibration, opening your third eye, they're going to say things like dangerous, not for starters or beginners or whatever. Do one of those.
Yeah.
Do one of those for an hour or 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and it will change your life.
It will, because even though it says like danger and warning and stuff, your mind has already been into a way more dangerous place. Exactly. So it's like, just do it and see, because it's eye-opening. It's so, I can't believe I'm saying this, because I just used to rag on my sister for this, but it's like, I get it now.
Isn't it amazing? And you feel it from head to toe, and the feelings last. And you don't have to do it every day, but maybe a few times a week to get you out of your own mind. And you literally feel the vibrations from head to toe. And it's something about the breathing exercises, the fact that it's got all these really interesting sounds and visions and all the little pieces of it that make it so, quote, dangerous to open your third eye or, get in touch with your own chakra. And there are other forms of it that hit other chakras, but I would always advise starting with the one that says dangerous. Do not try this if it's your first time, because, we're already out of our minds. So let's literally check out of our own minds and see the beautiful in life, how short life is, how sweet life is, Yeah. All right, what else?
I don't know. I mean, that one was just, I do those every night. I've been doing those for like a month now.
It's a big
deal. Meditation. It's, oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, that's all I've been doing, is just keeping myself busy, doing the meditation in the evening. I kind of started reading. I read a book, which it was pretty interesting, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like this was written about me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a reader. As terrible as it is to sound. I mean, the last time, I found it on one of my Target runs, but I kept seeing it on Instagram. People were posting about this book. It's called You Are a Badass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
How to stop doubting your greatness and start living an awesome life.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Was really good because it's written like how we're talking. Mm-hmm. It's not so like bookish.
Instructional.
It's just, it's very relatable.
Okay.
It's funny and there's like great advice in there. So I read that book in 3 or 4 days, I think, because I couldn't put it down.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I've been just trying to do things that I wouldn't normally do. Yes. And I think it's part of my process of trying to find myself again because I feel like so lost.
Well, you became a new cycle, and now that cycle is coming to an end. Whatever is going to happen with your husband, your son's going to go to school. It's the end of that cycle. This is a new cycle.
Yeah.
And this new you and this new cycle gets to be Amanda and a mom and a wife, but more importantly, a person, her own person. You have to really dig deep and become you. If that means staying busy all day or watching, I wouldn't even, say this if it weren't true, but back in the 90s when MTV was a thing, we used to turn on videos and learn how to dance like the Paula Abdul moves from the videos or whatever. Look, be silly. Do karaoke. Yeah. Do things you don't do, even in your own house. There's a way to escape your own mind, even in a house that you're stuck in all day. And you have a car. You can just drive around, and you'd be surprised how quickly that puts a baby to sleep.
Yeah. Not my child. I don't know what happened with my baby. He used to never like the car as a newborn, and I can't get this kid to fall asleep in a car, even skipping a nap.
Nice. Maybe
but it's funny
try different music.
Yeah.
I don't know, but... Yeah, I've never heard of a child not liking a car.
I know. Everybody is like, oh, he'll be exhausted after this because my husband races dirt bikes. So we will be at the track all day into the evening. And I'm like, no, he's not going to fall asleep. And I mean, the track is probably like 45 minutes away from our house, and he's still up when we pull up to the house. And I'm like, how is this possible? Because I'm exhausted. I took a nap in the car.
Okay, so you just said something pretty amazing. You said his dad he's an adrenaline junkie, right? He's into dirt bikes and loud things. As stupid or crazy as this may sound, I don't even know if I should say this, but
say it.
Try different music, like Korn, like try adrenaline type heavy metal music. Seriously.
Do you know what is so funny? That's all I listened to when I was pregnant.
I think you should jam out to that in the car.
That's so funny because when I had my big old belly in the car, I'm like, I don't want my baby listening to this rap nowadays. So I would put on what, which I listen to everything, but that's so funny because I never thought, he is used to listening to that in the womb. Ma'am. So I wonder.
They hear everything in the womb. So I think that's the solution to your car problem right there. You're playing the wrong music, Mom.
Yeah. And
your son wants to jam out.
Not even playing any music at all. So maybe he does need the music to go to sleep.
He needs the music. Even if he doesn't go to sleep, it's going to help stimulate that part of him that was inside of your belly 4 years ago. And that's memory that's going to be there for the rest of his life. That's part of his wiring. I am
going to experiment with that tomorrow. The next time I get in the car.
Jam out. I've had 2 boys. I get it. Jam out. Loud.
That is so funny.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everything. Is there anything else you want to tell our listeners?
I think we covered everything. Just don't keep it in. Okay. Because whoever you end up talking to, you never know. They could be like, oh my gosh, me too. Because that's what happened with me and my girlfriend. So that's why she understood me so well, is because she went through the same thing. So it's like, if it's somebody, that's not going to judge you or hold things against you, because I've had friends that have done that to me that I don't speak to anymore. But it's like, even if you have to call a whatever line to just talk to somebody about anything, you have to do that, because that it helped me so much. Just my girlfriend, and I called the suicide hotline myself, and it helps.
Good. Very good to know that. All right, guys, you heard it. You're not alone. You're not the only one. You're not crazy. Normal is crazy as a mother. It is. Crazy is normal. Normal is crazy. That's what it is. But it's time for you to get back to finding yourself, the you before you got married. If you think about, if you really think about it, you're like, God, I miss the old me. You need to figure out how far back that goes. Was that when you were 16? Was that before you got married? You need to figure out what age that was, and then figure out how to get back to that person, right?
Yeah.
So a little homework for you. Figure out what age that was. When you say, I miss the old me, what age were you? And what did you do at that age? And do those things again. So,
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for everything. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and inspiring people, hopefully.
I know, I hope. Thank you so much for helping me through everything, because you've been an enormous help, more than you'll ever know, and I just appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you too, and I hope you have a good day and get some of that meditation in.
Yes.
All right, hon. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Are you ready to be inspired? Are you ready to make positive changes in your life? Tune in to Be the Change, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, featuring our heartwarming radio host, Tiffany Lewis. She's an empath, an indigo, and has a new and uplifting message for you. Every week, Tiffany can be heard only on Clear Source Radio, where people inspire people, from our soul to yours. You can get the free app today at clearsourceradio.com. Visit Tiffany H. Lewis on Facebook for even more daily inspiration.